Splash, crack, fist to face, over and over again. There is a tussle. There is a small, little, very appropriate crack of umbral lightning within the penumbral reflection of the riverbanks of the reservoir as we see our two famed, famous, wonderfully popular characters, Chino and Olaf, having quite the fucking tussle over I don't know what. It's just like they were talking 1 second and then boom, fist to the face, down to the fucking ground, kicks and stabs. Well, stabbing not with anything in particularly, just jab, 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 jab. They're completely covered in blood. Chino still wearing his fantastic wife beater or tunic, whatever he happened to be wearing when he went on his goddamn rampage. Still covered in blood, now covered in mud, and covered in a Viking as we begin and open our scene there.
Chino and Olaf are, as was stated, we were beating the crap out of each other. Chino says, "I am not fucking staying here, SA. You can't fucking make me." And he punches Olaf again.
Olaf, for his part, is done talking. He is going to make you. They're pretty much hockey bashing each other in the face at this point. Get a Fenris, some of the most stubborn people in the nation, versus well, perhaps an Uktena in the future, but someone who came for Uktena's stock. The second most stubborn people in the nation. But it becomes obvious that maybe Garrett's joke about get a Fenrir, all more or less aspiring to be a runes, wasn't that much of a joke.
Throw some more punches. Okay. Let's see. At this point, Chino will because he grew up in the hood, he's going to tackle Olaf and basically he's going to try to pin him to the ground. We'll just freeform this. No need to roll anything. Just me and you. Cool. Let's go.
Oh yeah. Olaf ends up on the ground, and the problem with that is that when you're on the ground with a guy who's trying to get control from a high spot, there's about one thing you can do. So Olaf's leg comes up and hurls itself towards Chino's crotch.
Chino takes the shot in the crotch and starts to crumple a little bit. And as he leans over, he lands on Olaf's arm and tries to pin it and wrap his legs around his shoulder.
Olaf has a certain idea of what this is. And being Olaf, well, he might have fought in a nice way back when he was first learning as a teenager. These days, not so much. He understands that if the hooks get deep enough in, it's basically over. And instead of doing anything a rational person would do, is doing his best to actually fucking bite Chino in the leg, Mike Tyson style.
Chino says, "Are you fucking biting me, Holmes?" He starts trying to shove his leg deeper into Olaf's mouth, like he's trying to break his jaw with his leg.
Oh God!
You want to bite me, Holmes? Then fucking bite me. You bite like a fucking bitch, Holmes.
This is all the distraction that Olaf needed. He's no longer necessarily at a threat for an armbar, but he does have his mouth full of leg. And when things start to get a little more shifted around, it is now Olaf who's attempting to pounce on Chino and throw a hammer fist directly into his face.
Chino will take the fist to the face, and kind of reel a little bit and be like, "Is that the best you got, Holmes? You hit like a fucking girl. You hit hard. You bite harder than you hit." He'll fucking come up and he'll just try to basically split the goalposts and put a steel-toed boot into Olaf's crotch.
It's Olaf's turn on the crotch
Bloody
kick.
face.
And somewhere in the ancestral home of the Garu spirits, Callie is giggling like an idiot.
There have been 2 crotch shots in one dispute. Both men.
No, I'd be a poor half moon if I didn't, but can you gentlemen please stop?
At this point, Olaf's face is twisted up in the pain of having his balls kicked by a steel-toed boot. But he's looming over Chino with his fist cocked back. Like, we all knew what he was going to do as a response, but he actually looks at Mikhail. I understand you come from somewhere else, but this is a thing.
It may be,
Meanwhile-
but you just did acquire a new rank. Would you like to lose that just as fast as you got it? Remember-
Maeve's gonna hit the scene.
Yes, remember, Deadfather, beating a cub would make you in the same, at least the same league as a certain Samuel.
Who said anything about beating a cub? This is obviously a training exercise.
Obviously.
And by what Maeve enters, I mean Maeve and a veritable flock of fucking doves enter.
Chino looks up and says, "What the fuck is this, a Prince video? The fuck is this, Holmes?"
No, this
Oh,
is
let's
a Disney
not
movie.
forget, she's also glowing. Literally glowing.
Gestures towards the fucking Fiona princess. No, it's a Disney movie. Can't you see?
She is, by the by, a good 10, 15 feet away. Still far enough that she can stay upright for the moment.
Let it go.
With a dove likely in hand, and try as best she can to make eye contact with Olaf to search for permission.
Albert
Anybody
is,
anyone looking at Chino will notice he crosses himself and looks at the Fiona princess like she's literally a devil or a god, one or the other.
right next to her. He'll see someone come up. Albert will just kind of walk, and this is the Umbra. So he's got like this wire type stuff on his forehead. His eyes are a bit like just like electric blue lenses, and he has a metallic kneecap that looks like it's copper. He looks just as weird.
Common sense
Olaf.
ringing in, keeping the cubs like far away for the moment.
Olaf
Yeah, he's
kind of
standing a respectable distance away.
Olaf kind of flops over to sit next to Chino. Okay.
Chino grins and kind of looks at him, just waiting.
All right. Now that we got that out of the way, look, you're seeing people over there. I know that you've probably been on the other side before, but now you are both flesh and spirit. There are certain heritages that come from your spiritual side. Over there, young Maeve is touched by, well, the spirit of Luna, and quite touched. Albert, I'm really not sure what kind of spirit fathered his spiritual side, but it is readily apparent. And then there's us. You and me, we're not as touched, but we're a little touched. With me, it's bare. You can practically smell it on me if you have the right senses. With you, it's something else.
Kind of grins. He's like, "It's always something else with me." I say, "Always something else."
Yeah, I'm getting that. Anyhow, You and me will get into what I at least suspect your spirit heritage is at a later time. It's going to be rough.
In light of the fight coming to an end, Maeve will pitch her handheld dove up into the air so it can take off and find a perch, and go ahead and encourage the others to find perches of their own, and then take a moment to shift to Lupus so that she can approach the rest of the way properly, and immediately hit her back as soon as she gets within maybe 10 feet of either Mikhail or Olaf.
Well, she's following the rules. Olaf gives a pretty swift motion for her to pop back up, and then looks at Chino. So, time being, I am what's called Den Father. I am here to train you so that you can achieve rank quickly and go on to be a... what moon were you born under?
He grins. Full.
Ah, Narun. Great. Well, should you survive, you will be probably one of the strongest fighters we've got. There are 2 other Aruns, well, 3 that I know about. One's another cub named Talia. You 2 should get along famously. And the other 2 are Teeth of the Titanium Raya, who does not fuck around, and Travis Raya, who also does not fuck around. They're both ranked high above us. Travis will probably be the one that you do a lot of your auspice training with.
So... while I'm here, you and me, Padre?
Yeah, pretty much.
Wonder how the real one will feel about that.
I didn't quite...
He said, I wonder how the real one will feel about that.
Well, first big rule. In the real world, we don't... Well, you already know this shit. We don't talk to other people about what we are.
Oh, he knows, Holmes. He knows.
Anyway, I'm responsible for you. And when you got problems, I'm probably going to be the first person you got to bring them to.
Trot, trot, trot. Plops next to Olaf.
Alright. So, the litany. First thing I like to cover with new cubs is the litany. Mikhail, you like teaching the litany, don't you?
Oh, I do.
Well, I tell you what, Mikhail. I'm a little weathered from my first combat practice with Chino over here. You go ahead.
Well, tell me, boy, do you understand law?
You fucking call me boy again. I'll show you how I understand law.
Until you achieve rank, you will be a boy.
He stands up and starts walking towards Mikhail.
Chino,
What?
soon, when you get rank, I'll teach you how it's done.
Kyle smiling at
He turns and looks at Mikhail and says, "Hey, I wasn't the running this, eh?" Walk over and sit down next to Olaf with a big grin on his face.
And he returns a smile. The best thing about me is I never forget.
Don't.
So now that we've handled that, the litany,
Well, yes, as I was saying to the child here, we have our own set of laws that you will be expected to follow. And unlike mortal laws, we take ours extremely serious. And I mean extremely serious.
He's not putting too fine a point on that. There is a judge who is ranked above both Mikhail and myself who is a big fan of corporal punishment. Once watched her pour molten silver on an elder's face.
See him kind of do a, all right, nod.
And if she's feeling nice, she'll just hit you with a sledgehammer.
It's happened before, I say. It's happened before.
Yes. So as I was saying about the law, our laws are broken down to various tenets. Each tenet has a certain place. Now the first one, it's very simple. It's you're not going to sleep with anyone of the same kind as you. No two werewolves should be fucking, to put it cleanly.
Chino rolls his head like that kid sitting in the back of the class that's slowly losing interest. And then when you say no, when you say that, he kind of looks at you and he's like, so I can't fuck no more?
No, you can't. No.
You can sleep with those who do not share the blood that you share.
What he's trying to say is,
I don't know what
like,
you know. Whoa, hold on a second. I don't know what you think you know about me, Holmes, but we don't. I mean, this ain't fucking Alabama. I ain't fucking nobody with the same blood as me.
Well, there you go. If it's somebody like you, me, Rowan.
That's the best way to think of it. If
Yeah.
they can turn into a werewolf, you don't sleep with them. There are plenty of people out there for you to handle your business with.
Huh.
The second,
And as this seems like an interesting time, Kailani approaches. Curious to
Kailani?
see what all the commotion's about. Hello, Olaf.
Okay, so the reason why, when a Garu sleeps with a Garu, what they end up creating is a metis. These metis, a lot of people like to put the emphasis on how they're born sterile, keeping the nation running. What I like to put emphasis on is the fact that that child will unfailingly be born with some sort of deformity that will pain them for their entire life. It
and
could
they
be
will.
physical, it could be mental. Almost 100% of cases, the mother dies as the child bursts out of the womb with fully operational fangs and claws. For a reference, if we were on the Tellurian side, I would simply pull up the clip I have loaded on my phone from the movie Alien. But we're in the Umbra.
Olaf, you notice Chino is getting very agitated and is looking at you very angry right now. The more you talk about how deformed a metis is, he's getting madder and madder at you.
Olaf just kind of stares at Chino. You're pissed.
The best people I know is that way. I say, don't be saying she's a
Same.
fucking alien.
We're not judging their character. We're just telling you what happens.
Hey, I got a packmate named Ren. Good woman. Better philodox than me, honestly. You want to ask her what it feels like to be that way?
His face goes a little bit dead, and he says, I know Ren.
You know Ren?
We've been talking about the same girl, it sounds like. You fucking say
sounds
she's
like-
an alien. You're going to be scrapping again.
No. Not what I'm trying to say. A lot of kin, they don't understand that people die during this process.
And that is the second part about this law. The law that I actually find intolerable is that we put the blame on the child and not the parents.
Can we call this a fucking rule and not quit using the fucking law?
You're going to hear people call it a law a lot. You got to be ready for that. Hey, I know. Don't like the cops. Don't like the law. Personally, I'm pissed off because back at my home, Sept, my fucking MC has a RICO case jammed up its ass. Can't even make a living anymore.
Mm.
I know about being pissed off at the law and the cops.
Kind of looks at Olaf and says, really? Do you know about 9 years of the box essay? Then you know about the fucking law. So you do 9 years in Pelican Bay, you can fuck off with that bullshit.
So be it. Either way, you seem to understand perfectly well what we're saying. There's no need to dwell on it.
Yeah.
Good enough. Not
Yeah,
a second.
don't be fucking other wolves. I got it.
Now, a second rule, as it were, is what your purpose is. You will combat the worm wherever it dwells and wherever it breeds.
You seem to think about that one for a minute. I've been doing that my whole life. That one's easy.
Good enough. I don't need to explain it. Now, the third one, and something tells me you probably understand this one a little bit better than most. Respect the territory of another.
He kind of grins. He's like, so whose territory is this?
This is ours.
Okay.
If you speak of the Alpha, it would be the territory of Mother Larissa.
Alright. So by your rule, I have to respect Mother Larissa. See?
Most definitely.
He
On
looks
top
at
of this
Kalani.
being...
He looks at Kalani. She to your madre?
Mine? No. She is... I'm not even sure how she got that name.
That is a rank among her tribe. That is how they acknowledge those who have survived a long time. Mother and father.
She is an elder.
There's even rumors that even the older ones go by grandmother and grandfather.
He kind of nods.
And
Alright.
anyone who survives this life that long deserves that name. Now this rule might set you off. I don't know. Accept an honorable surrender.
Kind of looks at Mikhail and says, why you think that set me off, Holmes? You say I ain't got no honor?
No. But full moons are known for the fire inside of them. That when you get in a fight, you might lose yourself, not realize when your opponent surrenders himself.
There's no such thing as surrender, Holmes. You give the fuck up, it's over.
Well, among us, not really. Unless fear of the worm, then there is no surrender. There is only death. But if it's your pack brother or sister, and you two are just having a scuffle, if they show you their throats, you stop.
Wait. So, when we fight each other, we have to have a rule saying that we don't hurt each other?
We're a
We
dying.
don't hurt family, yo. What the fuck you saying?
We're your new family. Whether you like it or not, we're all
Oh.
family.
It is that common sense. And sometimes we do have to have those rules.
Because
People get carried away.
you gotta understand, we're a dying breed. And if we're going to sit around killing each other off, then the worm's already won. He doesn't need to do anything because we're doing his job for him. But scuffling and fighting among ourselves, that's going to happen. There's no stopping that. But it's knowing when to draw the line. And if your opponent shows you their throat, you've already won. You don't need to make an example of them.
Let me ask you this, as Lucas goes ahead and interrupts. Your name is, question mark, pointing at the tattoo man?
Chino Holmes.
Tino, you fight with your brothers and sisters?
Every fucking day, Holmes.
You ever try to kill them?
No.
Same rule applies. Simple enough.
Yeah, I understand the rule, Holmes. I just don't understand. Well, I guess the way he,
The way he presented it. Sorry.
Yeah.
These are my Rayas. They're great in wisdom. Sometimes they can't break it down to a simple enough level. I love them both.
That and sometimes the rules are so common sense that it seems strange that they should have to be rules. But they need to be said, so they're getting said.
The rule exists for a reason, because that fire that burns within us.
It can push you over the edge.
Points at Mikhail. Points at Kylie. There you go. Just need that bit of self-control that some people don't have to hold yourself back from mortally wounding your brother and sister. Can you do that?
We'll see, Holmes. We'll see.
Goes ahead and backs away. Apologies, Reyes, for speaking out of turn.
Good enough. The next one up, and he'll look to Mabe. Submission to those of higher station.
He can look all he likes. She'll glance over, notice that he's looking at her, and continue being obnoxious around Lucas's legs because she already did it. She did what she was supposed to do. She's not going to take it personally.
Oh yeah. You can go ahead and try to nudgel one of Lucas's legs, but he likes to hop, skip. You're not knocking him off balance quite yet.
Nope. She likes trying, though. It's fun.
It's fun. Definitely fun.
So one of the things you will learn among us is that we have a hierarchy of sorts. And that the more you do, the more you accomplish, the higher you move up. Those above you deserve the respect that they've earned.
To put it flatly, there are, well, now that I think about it, technically 6 ranks. At the bottom there's Cub. Step up from that there's Cleith. Step up from that there's Fostern, my rank. Step up from that there's Adrian. Step up from that there's Athro. And right at the top there's Elder. Somebody's above you in rank. You gotta do what they say. Now, once you get up in rank, and you're 1 rank separated, like say a Cleith and a Fostern, it's acceptable during certain times to be able to officially challenge them over matters. But, seeing as how you're a Cub currently, you're not actually able to challenge. Now, I can tell, we've been here, 15, 20. You've already got some beasts running. You want to settle those for good, you got to move up in rank. And if you want to move up in rank, well, I'm the person you can learn that from.
He kind of looks at Olaf and he just nods. You can tell he's not really happy with this, but he's kind of getting the point that this is not the forum for him to decide whether or not he agrees with this or not.
Now, exact wording of the law, submit, just means that you follow your orders. As far as respect goes, It comes hand in hand. But I tell you what, little thing I learned. Whatever thoughts are inside your head, well, as long as they're inside your head, right?
At which point, Maeve kind of makes a meaningful glance and brief, kind of dopey, doggy grin towards Olaf, but goes right back to trying fervently to trick Lucas into misstepping by nudging and bugging him.
Now,
Sort of leading the play away from the lecture and discussion.
Yep, she keeps it kind of, down low. She's not getting crazy with it. She's just kind of nudging him, being a bother, but not getting hyped up.
that being said, word of advice. When it comes to Teeth of Titanium, Raya, and you'll know him when you see him, even the slightest flash of disrespect will be met with immediate reprisal.
Kind of nice. I get that.
All right, Mikhail. Moving along.
Speaking of rank, the next roll goes inside with that rank. The first share of the kill for the greatest in station. That means when you hunt, when you fight, your elder, he gets to pick of who he's going after, of what he claims. Your spoils of war, he gets the first dibs on.
Kind of like, cocks his head to one side and just kind of shrugs his shoulders. Whatever, Holmes. This shit don't make no sense.
In time, it will. Now, the next rule, very self-explanatory. I don't really need to go into it. You don't eat people.
The fuck you say, Holmes?
Some people, way back when, were way into eating people to the point where we had to make a rule. These days, well, the reaction is just like yours. Why the fuck would I eat people? All the same, it's a rule.
Because even the spirals have a tendency to feast on their victims. The taste of flesh is enough to lead you to the thralls of the worm. And even though it's not in the law itself, I also like to tell people that same rule applies to your wolfkin. We don't eat lupus.
Yeah.
He's got brought one hand up to his forehead. He's pinching the bridge of his nose like he's getting a headache.
He grew up kinfolk. He knows. I'm
mean,
looking at
that's
one guy where I can pretty much tell I don't have to worry about how he's going to relate to kinfolk. Am I right about that, Chino?
Family's family, yo.
All right, good. We agree.
See if you see, he kind of looks at her and he's like, "Why the fuck that fucking pendejo call me a fucking spiral, yo?"
He must have got some shit wrong. Sometimes people fuck up.
That's some serious shit to get wrong, yo.
And me and him are going to have a talk about that later.
Yeah. Me and my fucking fist are gonna have some fucking talking about that.
Look, here's
fucking
his
pendejo
deal.
called me a fucking spiral. I don't know who the fuck he think he is. And he kind
of
disintegrates into cussing in Spanish.
You have to understand that he himself is still young.
And from what I can tell, touched
Keeps
by
that shit up,
some...
he ain't gonna get no fucking older, Holmes.
Well, I tell you what. All the more reason for you to follow the rules and rise up in rank so you can do it proper.
Proper and proper. That fucker's gonna learn, Holmes.
I do agree. You are in a position to ask for a right of contrition.
Yeah,
Holy
agreed.
shit, I'm gonna show him the right of my fucking boot up his ass, yo.
If you want to handle it that way, I mean, you gotta follow the rules, but if that's what it comes to.
All right. He gets it. Next rule.
Now this one, This one tends to be a little picky among certain people. Some people don't have a understanding of why we need to follow this. God knows I don't understand. It's pretty easy. It's respect those beneath you, all or of Gaia. That just means don't be an abusive dick.
I may be able to explain this one, Mikhail.
Well, if you wish.
In wolf packs, an alpha who is abusive or who takes more than his share of the kill or abandons his pack. Eventually, those beneath his station will turn on him and tear him to pieces.
Not too long ago, we had a situation where certain people felt it was okay to put their hands on their kinfolk.
Suddenly becomes distracted by that umbral tree over there. What a nice tree.
What a nice tree.
Me personally, if you can't handle yourself without putting your hands on somebody, you're a coward and you have no place among us.
Gino looks at Mikhail and says, you know, that's the first fucking thing that you and I have agreed on all fucking day.
You'll come to learn that I'm pretty much right all the time.
Because after that comment, Maeve starts kind of chuff laughing. It's weird to hear a wolf try to laugh, but she does the best approximation she can by kind of woofing and chuffing.
Now our next rule, this one, is probably one of the most important ones ever. Called the veil shall not be lifted. That means you don't let anyone who isn't of your blood see you in your war form.
Pretty much means we keep the Garu shit to the Garu and kinfolk. Now,
Don't talk about Fight Club.
yes, Mabe. Don't talk about Fight Club.
That is the easy version.
Not only is the human mind like fragile enough that it can't understand what it's seeing, but enough people can get together and decide they don't like what they saw. And as badass as we might think we are, when you have 1,000 people hunting you down, there's only so many bullets you can soak.
Alright, that makes sense, Holmes.
Now,
Jesus, I feel like I need a fucking notebook or some shit.
Well, you're going to learn a whole lot, so yeah, you will probably need to learn or memorize a lot.
I'll help you remember.
Now, this next rule, it's one of those rules that certain people have certain opinions on. So it's pretty much how you want to take it, but it's something that you want to be cautious with. It's very simple. Do not suffer thy people to tend to your sickness.
Basically, if you get so fucked up that you can't contribute to the war in any way, shape, or form for good, well, let's just hope it doesn't come to that. Ends up falling on the rest of us to decide what to do.
He
Yeah,
just kind of stares at Mikhail. It's like, he nods.
you have certain tribes have certain opinions about this. Some are more passive, some are more brutal. How you want to handle that will be on you.
It is the belief of my tribe, for example, to let such a person choose how they die. In my sect, it was not uncommon for them to choose euthanasia.
Amongst my people, just so they can get to Valhalla, they go out on one last fight.
Hmm. I guess I can understand that, Holmes. I mean, you get too old, you start shitting yourself, people can take care of you, everybody gets upset. I don't want to go to no home, Holmes. Of course, I ain't gonna live that long. I've known that for years. Surprised I lived this long.
Olaf looks like, once again, in this magical moment, him and Chino are on the exact same wavelength.
Don't underestimate yourself. You live this long. That does require a certain level of strength and cunning.
Alright, Holmes. Any more rules?
Oh, yes. We're almost done. There's only 3 more.
You see me kind of throws his arms up. The fuck?
So the next 2 rules sort of go hand in hand. The first one is the leader may not be challenged at any time during peace. Or, excuse me, the leader may be challenged at any time during peace. That means if we're not at war and you're ready to take a position because you feel somebody can't hold it, you can call them out for it. Now the second
Okay.
part of that, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Okay, I get it. I
No,
get it. Any one of my boys can challenge me. I get it. I get it. Okay.
Oh, that means you too. That means if you see somebody and you feel that they're not doing their job or that they're weak, you can call them out. And if you're strong enough to take it, you can take it.
When you get to rank.
There's always another fucking rule with you. It kind of gives Olaf a grin.
Now the second part of that is the leader may not be challenged during wartime.
Wait. Alright. So we always have to combat the worm wherever it lives, fucks, whatever.
Yes.
But we can't challenge anybody when we're combating the worm, whenever it breeds. So when the fuck can we challenge anybody? Because we're always at fucking war.
Ah, now you're starting to understand guru politics. You will learn that there are those who will try to use this to secure their positions. But wartime isn't official until the warder of our sept declares it so. If the warder didn't declare it, then we're not considered to be at war. So if you see some chump trying to play that card, you can call him out on it.
Oh, you be right, S.A. You know I'm a Chino gonna call somebody fucking out on that shit.
I
Fucking
expect no
pendejo
less.
jerk off too.
Now, the other part he was getting to, leader may not be challenged at any time during war. When there's an official wartime on, no such challenges for leadership.
So who is the leader? Madre Larissa?
She's the alpha, the whole sept. Gerard Morningkill Raya is the beta. Right now we've got Teeth the Titanium Raya as the worm.
You
Warder.
see a huge grin across his face when you mentioned Morning Kill. Daddy Warbucks. Ah. I wonder how he fit in this.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
Now, Teeth the Titanium as the warder, and Travis Raya as the wormful. We also have Katori Raya as the keeper of the land, and currently me as the den father. I have no idea where the den mother is at this moment, but I'll be contacting her soon.
Wait a minute. You the den padre, she the den madre, but you can't fuck? What the fuck good is that?
Then mother's also Garu. Night eyes. A foster.
Hmm. Okay.
There is also the position of Tail Singer, which is held by Honors the Lost Raya.
You'd know him as Aaron.
Ah, Aaron. The one who kept me from kicking your ass earlier. See? He kind of grins at Mikhail.
Oh, he grins right back. Now, this last law, and I say this is the most severe law. No tribe ever takes this law easy. You will do no action that causes that Karen to be violated. There is no forgiveness, no redemption, no apology. If you do anything to jeopardize our homes, you will be torn apart at best.
Basically, Cairn is quite a sacred thing. When you were kin, the mother flowed through you. Much of that gnosis comes from being near a cairn. It is a base for our people. One main artery in the lifeblood of the mother. Very sacred, very important. It's why we're so specific about doing rites of cleansing. I got the idea, wasn't exactly comfortable. Let me tell you, most people's first time with that rite, not comfortable. The city leaves things on you. But that's why it's so necessary. 99% of cases, 99% when it comes to allowing a cairn to be violated, end in a fucking field execution. Another Fustin, Emmett, he thought he was at risk of violating a cairn, and he handed me his fucking pistol, because he knew what was up. If me and two other Phylodoxes hadn't cleared him, I would have had to put a bullet in his head, and I like him.
So you don't let nobody fuck with your turf. And you don't fuck up so that you learn from your turf. Yeah?
You
Yeah.
got it.
I'll teach you the details later.
Fair
Honestly,
enough.
with how much you've got to learn, and how severe all this shit is, and I can tell you already get it. That's why Cub's gotta live here. That's why one of us has gotta be with you when we go on the outside. Now, yeah, I'm Den Father, and I've got some other duties, but most of the time, I'm pretty damn free to help you out, getting what you need done. I understand you gotta look after your family. Hell, I'll go down with you. But you gotta have somebody of Cleather hire with you when you leave the Sept. And you gotta live here for the time being until you complete your training.
See, he's just kind of shaking his head. He's like, I don't need no fucking babysitter, Holmes. I'm 28 fucking years old. I'm a motherfucking man. I don't need no fucking babysitter.
Them's the fucking rules. And you know what? I agree. You're
Fuck
a
the
man.
fucking rules. You know that. Fucking bullshit.
It's one you can't fuck.
So what happened? They gonna take my tail away if I don't fucking do that? I'm gonna go see my fucking mother. It's gonna
And
happen.
I'll go with you. Or Kailani, or Mikhail over there, or any number of full-rank Garu. Hell, I bet if I asked Ren right now, are you free to help Chino go down and see his madre? She'd say hell yes.
Yeah, dumbass probably will.
There are things out there that are going to notice you a lot more now than they did before. I'm pretty sure I would have gotten snatched off the street at least twice if I hadn't had people with me.
They can fucking try, Holmes.
Some of them are big. Really big.
I seen it.
Better to have someone with you who can raise the alarm.
You've seen big. Have you seen a Nexus crawler? A vile, twisted creation. Not of Gaia's. As tall as a skyscraper?
Kind of squints his eyes at Alani. He's like, "You trying to scare me, little girl? I don't
Trying
scare
to-
easy."
She's trying to make a point. You don't have to be a jerk.
It's not about stealing food. It's about using common sense.
Reyes may speak.
Go ahead, Lucas.
All right. He's gonna go ahead and stand up and shake off Maeve, who's still playing. Gonna walk up
Nah,
to gonna walk to Gino. Okay, you're in the Umbra, right? You're in the pin number, right? Ever walked around here?
Not before today, Holmes.
Okay, awesome. Do you see how here it's kind of open, kind of wild? You feel sort of more in touch with the mother here?
See?
Okay. You can imagine that Lucas is dipping and diving sort of on the balls of his feet when he tries to explain this. And he's just going to go ahead and point at outside the bond where, and you've probably seen this walking on through the first time you went through the Sept, or at least the Weaver territory, the skyscrapers, how they're completely overly covered in webs, and you can see big ass spiders sort of crawling down across and over the tension lines. Most of the time, you're going to be fantastically, awesomely okay, walking Tellurium-wise and even penumbral-wise outside the bottom of the set. But it's those times when you're outside the Sept, you're kind of alone, and you piss off one of those fuckers. They are going to go ahead and descend upon you. That's just the practical application of why you got to stay on Sept unless you got somebody to accompany you. Because you don't want to face one of those, or at least piss them off in the wrong way and be all alone, because that's how you disappear forever. Make sense?
Kind of narrows his eyes, looks off in the distance at all this that Lucas is pointing out. He looks over at Olaf. You gonna fight me to teach me to fight to kill that shit?
Oh, me? I'm not Narun. I'm sending you to Travis Raya.
There's somebody
You know
here
how he
gonna
got-
teach me about that shit, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I stay.
2 thumbs up as he goes ahead and goes back, steps back, and continues the tumbling over play with Maeve. Did my job.
Now, the one thing I always regretted not teaching right away, so I'm gonna just teach you now, is rules of etiquette. Now I know you're back with your people. There's a certain way you do things, a certain way you don't. Same deal here, as he shifts into Lupus.
Maeve does the flop for the sake of example.
Now, you see Maeve over here. When you approach somebody who's about 2 ranks above you, you gotta flop right over, show them your belly and your throat. As long as you're not in a place where people can see you. If you're in a place where people can see you, act normal. But when you're in a place where the veil's protected, nothing's gonna bother anybody, you take Lupus, you flop over just like that until they let you up. 1 rank separation is acceptable just to show your throat. Now, the one person I know who gets real swift about this is Teeth of Titanium Raya. When we're in veil-protected parts of the Sept, you will know him by sight because, well, he has certain modifications.
And Maeve will point her nose at Albert, be like him, but about 80 times worse.
Chino kind of looks at Albert and kind of makes a face, almost like, what the fuck? And then kind of just kind of shakes his head like, what the fuck ever. Okay.
Skull's back up to her feet.
Now the next thing, unless somebody waves you off from it, you got to address people above you in rank as Raya. It's like our version of Sir. A lot of people not that into it. I'm going into it myself, but I don't like to stand on ceremony that much.
Raya.
Ye-
All right, Holmes. This ain't my yard. I'll follow the rules.
All right. Those are the basics so far. I tell you what. Let's go over and show you where your new home's going to be. And he gets up to begin leading the group further in.
Okay. Chino will follow.
Glowy Wolf goes trot, 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 trot.
Following.
Techno Wolf, Techno Human will follows.
Kailani will follow.
Bob, you got the action.
Oh yeah, I know. After that chorus of followings, they get deeper and deeper into the sept. Everybody's squeaky clean. So they get amongst the reflection of the stargazer huts. This place right here, this is a veil protected area. Ain't nobody going to be looking at us while we're in here, at least nobody that's not kin. This is where the stargazer kin live. This is also where I live, and this is also where the cubs live, which includes you now. We'll send somebody over to get enough of your stuff. Keep you comfortable. For now, we're gonna switch from here back to the real world.
So, who's gonna go with me to see my probation officer?
Either
I
me
can-
or Ren, probably. Or him.
Actually, yes, I can handle all of that.
Okay. I gotta check in once a week.
I understand.
Apparently, I'm a violence risk. He kind of gives the air quotes.
Maybe it's going to revert as well as sidestep.
I got to keep my job, Holmes. Or they'll send me back.
What's your job?
Kind of grins. Garbage man.
We'll see what we can do. I'm not gonna fuck with somebody's livelihood.
I don't ever
And,
go. I don't ever go, but you know, my name's on the books.
Yeah, I get it. So everybody sidesteps, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Chino stuff.
Okay, so
Yep. Kailani will revert
Yeah.
and sidestep.
you all find yourselves amidst the stargazer huts. General din of kinfolk going about their business. And eventually you come towards two cabins right next to each other. Olaf points to one with a porch and says, "That's my home," and points to the one right next to it. "And this is currently the cabin where the cubs are staying. I'm going to make some arrangements because it's getting to be a lot of you in there."
Callie Raya, pointing at Callie.
Yes, Lucas?
First off, I'd like to thank you so very, very, very much for offering me lodgings while on the set. And I have to say it's been fantastically useful, and I've been able to give this generosity to the other cubs as they come in. that being said, my generosity by providing the new cubs with lodging is about to become a little bit cumbersome. Is there any way we can go ahead and try to extend lodging for the new entries, the new cubs?
How many of you are there now?
Well,
6, including this one.
Yep.
She thinks about it a minute. And perks her ears up. Okay, great. We will do it like this. Boys' cabin, girls' cabin. Just like summer camp.
Shrugs.
Shrugs.
Chino kind of looks at Olaf.
With Olaf in the middle.
The fuck is summer camp, Holmes?
I don't know.
Shrugs again.
He actually looks like Kailani. Kailani, what's summer camp?
How do you not know what summer camp is? Aren't you a Hamid?
I grew
Well,
up Gaian. I
Every
grew
time
up
we
on
went
a tent.
camping, we all slept in the same tent. I mean, there's...
Kailani, I didn't even know what the fuck a Disney movie was until I was 20 years old.
Oh boy.
Okay, well, there's some other movies you gotta watch then.
He kind of chuckles to himself. Probably. Point being, it's lost on some of us here.
Okay, so Kailani sits up, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed. Summer camp. Summer camp is... Okay. Summer camp is a place where Hamid families, human Hamid families, send their human Hamid children to run and play and swim during the summer. It's out in the middle of nowhere. And then, and they divide the cabins up, boy, girl, and they divide the camp counselors up, boy, girl, boy, girl, boy, girl. But the camp counselors start fucking, and then a little boy drowns, and then the boy's mom goes on a psychotic rampage, murdering all the people who let her son drown.
That's Friday the 13th.
Okay,
That's
Maybe-
a horror movie.
that is a horror movie. That is not helping. Like, as his face, that's why it sounded so muffled, is just like in his palms.
Kailani has a very big lupus grin on her face.
So summer
Okay.
camp is where privileged suburban middle-class families send their kids off when you don't want to deal with them.
Also that.
Also that.
Chino crosses his arms. That's some parent trap shit, yo.
You know that movie.
Okay. Anyway, we'll have more lessons later. You know the basics of how to deal with shit around here. I know things about your situation I gotta know to make everything go smooth. We'll stay in touch. Frankly, I'm your neighbor, so that's not gonna be hard. Oh, by the way, and he looks at Chino. I just contacted Ren. She is excited to have you here. She'll come down and visit you when she can.
Okay, Holmes. Okay.
And I actually am legitimately sorry there was an misunderstanding earlier. Ren, Brennan, and me, we've been through some shit together. I respect her more than anybody. I respect her as a sister and a packmate. She's saved my life more than once. I didn't mean nothing against her by what I said. I'm just too used to unknowing kin who don't get why you don't follow why anyone would break the first rule. Like he can tell that as he's going through this, he's maybe unused to being like a den parent. Like this is obviously like his first day on the job, and he's not too socially gifted, which is why he's been like fumbling his words back and forth.
He kind of shrugs. He's like, man, she's my girl, yo. She and I ain't been through the shit you've been through, but, you know,
Yeah,
she's alright, Holmes.
she is. I'm honestly proud to be in a pack with her.
Although I wouldn't get in a car with her after she's been eating flaming hot Cheetos and drinking that fucking pink milk. She'll fucking blow you out of the fucking car, Holmes.
He actually just starts laughing.
That's something you don't ever want to smell, yo. He's kind of shaking his head back and forth like he's remembering something.
I'll take your word on it. But yeah. Alright, just so we got that straight. I don't know when her time's going to get freed up, but she knows you're here. She intends to come down and visit.
Visit. So you saying I can't leave?
Yeah.
Where can I go?
Technically speaking, anywhere within Central Park, you're free to roam around on your own, as long as you're within the confines of the Sept.
The what?
Ah, yes, that. The Sept, think of it like our base, where we operate.
So what's
No.
the borders of the yard, yo?
A lot of things on this. There are a few places where humans, they just don't go. Places we've warded off from their eyes. We're standing in one of them right now. There are a few more pockets I'll tell you about later. But generally speaking, borders of our yard are the borders of Central Park.
Okay.
Now there are places where you can't go, as my long-lost sister once put it, places where you can't quite go ham because humans do wander around there. But the Sept of the Green, Central Park's where we're at.
Okay, Holmes. Okay. As long as I can walk around.
Oh,
In no
yeah.
fucking cage.
Nah, just
Park's pretty big.
Park's pretty big. One thing, unless you're in the Umbra after about 7 p.m., try to stay in the heavily warded areas where humans don't go. These fucking park. He almost says cops. This fucking park unit's been up our ass for a minute because of some beef with a pistol.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's probably better, Holmes, if I just don't walk around a lot.
I can deal with that.
Yeah.
Right.
I ain't up for going back. Know what I'm saying, Holmes?
I know exactly what you're saying. Now, hours late, feel free to crash out in your cabin. As for me, I'm gonna get a couple smokes in and then go on patrol.
What you patrolling?
The Sept. Umbra side.
Is that somewhere I can't go?
No, you can go. If you want to come along, you can feel free.
Good. If you try and fucking stop me again, we'll roll again. He kind of grins.
Olaf himself seems fairly amused by the prospect. All right, I'll bring you along.
Yeah, you will. Let's go. Kind of winks at Maeve.
She seems pretty amused. You
Um,
can tell she's the kind of person that smiles very readily.
unless there's something else that someone would like to accomplish, I feel that we can end our scene here.
Seems like it's
Lucas will say, as soon as Chino and Olaf have presumably left to do their rounds and or to go for a few rounds at each other, he'll simply look over to Maeve and to anybody else gathered and say, "Is there something in the water?"
well, I mean, I just feel like my theory's right now. I don't like it.
Raises his hands up to the sky. Gaia, you give us so much. I'm not saying, stop giving us, but maybe turn down the tap a little bit.
Kailani snorts.
I like him. He seems interesting.
He doesn't seem bad, really. So, Kailani, is this other cabin something that's already available? Should I start moving our things? Or do we need to wait for someone else to make room?
Well, I would say wait until beds get moved in.
That seems like a solid plan. Well, alright. Then I
I'll
guess
make sure
let us...
it's taken care of.
Beds. Bed. Looks at Maeve and Albert. You guys don't need beds.
Puts her hands on her hips. What else am I going to do with those pony sheets?
Oh, well, if you're gonna, get beds for the pony sheets, of course, get all the beds.
Actually, I noticed it's quite comfortable in Lupus, in a bush somewhere.
It's very comfortable in Lupus and the beanbags, too. But I can't afford to go out and buy a bunch of beanbags. I still haven't heard back from the zoo yet, so I'll take what I'm given.
It's most comfortable in Lupus curled up on the ground with someone to sleep with, but curled up next to someone in a bed is also nice.
Alright, Maeve, I'll go ahead and make a list. I'll get one of the adults to go ahead and run me out to the store so we can stock up the new cabin. How about that?
She nods and smiles. That'd be good. I feel like you know what you're doing.
Oh, absolutely. I always know what I'm doing. Goes ahead and brings out a sketchbook and a piece of pencil and just starts writing down a grocery list.
Lucas, the savior we... Not the savior we need, the savior we deserve.
I don't know how
Has
that
the
quote
forethought
goes.
to stock a kitchen.
Yes, he does.
Well, very well then.
Would you all appreciate if I did the outro this time?
Well, yes, I would.
Go
Go
right
right ahead.
Alright, fair enough. We go ahead and end our scene with the various Cubs making preparations. The Cleas and Fosterns also looking more towards the future of this young Cub and what trials and tribulations the next month will draw into as Chino and Olaf have their own little tiny side conversation that probably take them long into the night. But that is for another scene. Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. We will see you all again next time when round 2 starts between Chino and Olaf. Fight!